Good morning and thanks for coming. In 2011, I had the distinct privilege to be a part of extending Coach Fisher's contract at that time, and today I'm extremely pleased to announce another one. We've agreed to an extension that will carry his contract through June 30th, 2018. I want to thank President Hirschman, Vice President Tom McCarron, for their tremendous support not only of Aztec basketball but our entire program. Coach Fisher and I discussed his status during the start of the school year and targeted the start of the season as a time where we wanted to have an extension completed and be able to announce it. Since his start in 1999 through 2000 season, Coach Fisher's led San Diego State Aztecs, while in our conference 38 different coaches have led their programs within the league. That's stability that no one else around can brag about. When I came in 2010, Steve spoke passionately about turning San Diego State into a great basketball program. With San Diego State being only one of 7 programs in the country to have advanced to 5 straight NCAA tournaments, win at least 23 games in each of those seasons, I think this program is reaching that greatness that coaches strive for, and it's one of the premier programs in the West. It's a real blessing to lead an athletics program with someone like Steve Fisher as head coach. He's taken a program with just won 4 games the year before his arrival. He's won 4 Mountain West Tournament championships, 4 regular season titles, 7 NCAA tournament berths, 4 NIT postseason appearances. He's won 20 or more games in 10 of the last 13 seasons. A 2-time National Coach of the Year, 2 Sweet 16 appearances. He also has assembled a great staff that works extremely hard and well together. They're a coaching staff that's second to none in the country. It's led by head coach in waiting Brian Dutcher. We know that it's a great comfort. We know when Coach Fisher decides to step aside, we have someone like Brian who is one of the top basketball minds in the country. Justin Hudson, who's in his 2nd stint. He's been here 7 years. Dave Velasquez, 13 seasons. Mark Fisher, 13 seasons. Matt Soria, 15. And Tim Shelton may seem like 20, but only 8. He's in his 2nd year as his current role as Director of Player Development. It's a great testament to Coach and to his staff that they've been together so long and created something so special at San Diego State. I'm excited for what this year brings and the future. It was great yesterday to have the whole world looking at us and watching us beat a very good Utah team and seeing the student support, the community support that has rallied around this program. With that, I'm pleased to turn it over to head coach Steve Fisher.
I should have listened to Angie. She told me to put a coat and tie on today so I would look the part. I said I'm in my work clothes. We practice at 12:50, so I apologize for that, but I want to let everyone know that I'm immensely appreciative, and I'll start with my boss, Jim Sterk, for him saying, let's talk about an extension, to Dr. Hirschman for his co-signing what Jim talked about. I'm not a needy guy. I don't need people to tell me positive things. I think I do a good job. I don't need to have a 20-year contract. But I think in our world, with recruiting and everything else, the coach in waiting with Brian Dutcher was absolutely significant and critical to what we're doing. He's a terrific coach and will make a great, great head coach. I think sometimes age, people say, well, he's this. I feel great. I feel great. And I have a 3-year contract extension that Jim has provided after this year. So rather than say I don't want to do it anymore because I'm this age, as long as I feel the way I do now, at the end of every season, Angie and I will talk. But I look forward to not only this year, but being part of San Diego State basketball for a long time. And again, I want to emphasize my appreciation first to Jim and to our administration for providing this opportunity. We love it here. I'm at an age, and when I came here, I was at an age where I wasn't looking to, what am I going to do to get my next job? This is a job that everyone should say, that's a destination job. That's where you can come and make a difference and have success and live in a community and be part of a school like this, and there's nothing better. So again, I want to thank my boss. I feel good, and hopefully everyone else does also. Any questions?
Do you anticipate serving out this contract? I know you said you'll make a decision with Angie after every season, but do you think you're going to serve it out?
Bernie, who knows? But as I speak today, I feel good about myself. I feel good about what I've done, and I would say I'm going to do like I did my first year here when we won 5 games. Angie and I talk after every year. So we'll continue to do that. But yeah, I would say that I'm going to be here for the future.
Jim mentioned your staff, Steve, and what's the relationship there going forward for the next 3 years? I guess it's assumptive that all those guys are intact and will stay, or are they part of the process that got renewed?
Jim referenced our tenure here. This is my 16th season. There have been so many coaches changes in all the other Mountain West schools. I think he said 38. We have stability, and that breeds family. That means that every player in the last 16 years can walk in our office and not have to introduce himself. We know them. They feel a part of what we're doing. And I think that's significant. Our staff, and it's not just Brian and Jan and their family, it's all of them. It's all of them, from Justin to Mark to David to Matt to Tim Shelton. There's a relationship that we care about one another. Our players see that, our recruits see that. We recruit as a family. And after every game, all of our families are in the locker room. Our players see that. Our recruits see that. And the buzzword with all of us when we recruit is we have a family atmosphere. I think we provide that in a fashion that they say that. We don't have to say it. The recruits and everybody that's associated with us talk about the atmosphere within our program that makes players want to come back. And it's a wonderful feeling to have, and it's what we should all strive for. And longevity creates that.
Jim, last March when Coach said he wanted to come back for another season, and then said, I'll make a decision every year after that. He talked about just a series of one-year contracts. What's the difference between that and what you guys just put together?
We just the same model that we've used with his previous extension. We just added another 3 years on the end of that. So it's a little bit, it's not really different. It's what we both wanted to have. So I think it's worked out well in the past, and it'll continue to work out.
So, no truth to the rumor that you were waiting until after you finished the game with Utah to see how that went?
I might not have showed up had we not shot 32% and won the game. I feel good. I feel good. My health is good. I love what I'm doing, and I can see myself continuing to do it. So it makes perfect sense to me. I don't want to be anywhere where I'm not wanted. And I felt pride when the conversation was initiated by the other side of the hall rather than me going in and saying, hey, what do you think? Can we? It was initiated from Jim's office, and I'm very appreciative of that fact.
This is a question first for Steve and then for Jim. You've already talked a couple of times here about Brian and his impact and how important he has been to what you're doing. But after you've gone through the first contract negotiation and then the second one that we're sitting here now, is there ever a fear that you might potentially run out the clock on Brian in terms of him being a great head coach that might be fawned by other teams?
I'll answer that first. When we first broached the subject, and it was me to Jim, and it was probably no more than 2 years, maybe a year and a half ago. I think this is his second season as the head coach in waiting. So it hasn't been a long time. It has not been a long time. Brian is like I have been. He loves where he is. And, you know, there's always a possibility, the greater success, the more people will say, why are they successful? And it's not a one-pony show. It's a lot of people that are involved that folks will come around. They have, and he's chosen to stay. So, you know, Brian and I have a great relationship. Angie and Jan have a great relationship, and it will continue that way. And I think Brian is very comfortable in the circumstances that we're involved in right now.
If you know Coach Dutcher, his response was he wanted a new title. Head coach still in waiting, but he's that kind of guy. He loves, as Coach said, he loves what he does, and they have a great group together. They're very successful together, and I think, like Coach said, yeah, someone may want to come after him. However, I think he feels very good about where his future is at San Diego State.
Steve, were there any points during this journey where you didn't know if you'd be sitting here right now doing what we're doing now?
I think when you're in a job like we've got, where it's bottom line, you can be a likable guy, you can be a good guy, you can be a good coach, a good X and O guy, but if you don't have a little bit of good fortune and you don't have success, then you're not going to have rope. I have been blessed here, where there was a belief and a trust in the upper management that this group can be successful. When we were 5 wins, that never wavered. Now, some of the fans might have said, what's the difference? After we went to the tournament in year 3, we had a bit of a dip. They never wavered administratively, and I think that sometimes that makes a huge difference. Other people don't do that, and they have here. And I think, again, that we talked about family and relationships, and I'm on my second president now, and Dr. Stephen Weber is a friend. He's a friend. Elliot Hirschman, Dr. Hirschman has come in and has liked what he's seen. We've grown a relationship. He believed in his colonel over here, who's running the athletic department, and trusts that what's going on is a good thing. So, but all you have to do is look and say how many of the 300 plus Division I schools are 16 years at a school. Not very many. Not very many. They either move or get fired. Or they usually either get fired or they move quickly because they were going to get fired.
For either of you, the last contract, I believe, was a 4-year extension. This is a 3-year. How did you arrive at 3 years? I'm going to let my boss finalize it, but
It was kind
of mutual. I think.
So what do you think of 3 years? I said fine. I think that's basically how it happened. No real discussion on Y or length or the way I remember it.
I think that was,
Yeah.
yeah. He said, "What do you think?" And I threw out 3, and then, "What do you think?" And he said, "Yeah, that sounds good."
It was a tough negotiation.
I mean, you've said in the past, Jim, that you would want Coach to stay as long as he wants to. So how come you didn't say, how about 10? How about 5? How about?
I didn't want Angie mad at me too much. That
Yeah, she didn't know till this morning we were doing this. Yeah. No, not true. That's not true. To me, Mark, it seemed appropriate. It seemed like this looks like something that's very doable on both sides. So
it's really almost 4 years because we're doing it so early. It is.
Coach, you've driven this program to its state now at this point. How much does the potential for further greatness in the next coming years factor into your decision to stay for 3 more?
we want more. We want to continue to grow what we're doing, and you have to have a little bit of good fortune. We want to make the NCAA tournament. In today's world, everybody they talk and they get excited when you win games and when you win stuff. But now everybody says, "What are you going to do in the tournament?" So we want to make the tournament, and then if we get a little bit of good fortune and play well, we'll have a chance. I mean, obviously, all of us want to take the next step, and we'd like to take a next big step and get to a Final Four. And we've talked about why not us? Why not us being a school that wins a national championship? And you look at our roster, you look at our recruits coming in for next year, you look at the horizon of who we could recruit as we move forward, and I would say, why not us? Why not us being that school that does that? And that's what we would like to do. But I don't want to get too far down the road. We want to win our league. Every year we want to win the Mountain West Conference. If you do that, you're going to get in the tournament. If you get in the tournament, you have a chance. But one and dones are hard. The best team doesn't always win. Kentucky might not win the national championship. They're awfully, awfully talented. But you lose one game and have one slip up and have one guy get in foul trouble and things happen. But our program's getting better. And I think yesterday was indicative when we're national TV on ESPN. We had many eyeballs that were there. I had all sorts of texts from people across the nation, from sports writers to former players to friends that all watched the game and talked about our team, how good we were, how much this university and our program were showcased, our fans. We're all in it together.
So what do you do about 32%?
I'm sorry?
What are you going to do about 32%?
Well, I'm going to become the shooting coach, I think. I tried to do it at halftime, but it didn't seem to work too well. But again, I watched that game live, and I said, we were better defensively than I thought we had a chance to be. When I watched it on tape, it was the same way. We were really good defensively. Newsflash, Utah was pretty good defensively. They guarded us. We got to get better. We forced some stuff where, as you watch on tape, if we'd have moved the ball, we'd have had a better look. That comes with second game of the season and wanting to do well. I'm not worried about our offense. I said this afterwards. We're a better offensive team than we were last year. Last year we had Xavier Thames, he was the constant. He had the ball and he made a lot of good plays. We have more ways to hurt people this year with our offense, both inside and outside. And I think as it goes on, we'll do that. We had 16 assists and scored, I think, 79 points against a pretty good Northridge team in our first game. So I think most people came away from this and said, boy, they're pretty good offensively. it's basketball.
You talked about all those people that communicated with you yesterday after the game. When this news first came out that we would all be here, there was a sense of confusion, but it was also led by what's people saying, is Coach saying he's going to leave? We don't want to see that. We love him, we care about him. What did you think about that immediate outpouring as soon as this conference became public knowledge? What did it mean to you to hear people so aggressive about, we like you, we want you to be around here?
I said before, I'm not a needy guy. I don't need that. You know, I don't need that. I'm insightful to the point where I know this doesn't happen every place, and I'm been around the block enough to know that I've got great people that I'm working for and with, and I've got a love affair with this university, community, program, and we hope it's reciprocal, and I think to some degree it is. We show appreciation when we know others are saying, boy, we like you. And you is collective you, not me. It's all of us. And it feels good. It feels good to see those students there running in an hour and a half before the game to get to those seats. And everybody likes to have success, and we're proud of what's going on and appreciative of what's going on.